Namaskar, good afternoon. As a part of technical series of groexl Vet Private Limited, I, Dr. Manjunath, cordially invite you all for the deliberation on biosecurity, a very pertinent topic, very important topic in today's scenario. Dr. H.A. Upendra, a very well-known personality of our industry, was a professor in Department of Medicine from Veterinary College, Bangalore, and retired as a dean from the same. He is a technical consultant for many corporate houses and parent breeding farms and been a pet practitioner. And over to you, sir. And thank you. And I sincerely welcome you all. Welcome you also. Over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Manjunath. Thank you so much. Let me share the screen and start. Okay,
It is visible.
it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Manjunath, for giving this opportunity to discuss about biosecurity, what I say, road to prosperity. And this particular biosecurity is very important. Before that, let us understand what is biosecurity. Biosecurity is actually building a separating wall between disease causing organism like bacteria, virus, fungus, parasite, and the chicken. So that means to say, whatever the managemental practices we practice in our farm, implement in our farm to reduce or minimize the introduction of disease is biosecurity. So it is something like the prophylactic health plan what we take for the poultry. What are the objective of biosecurity then? Very simple. Our main objective is to minimize the germ load, toxic principle, and anti-nutritional factors in the poultry farm. When we do that one, definitely there will be limit of spread of the infection in the farm, and the birds will be healthy, and the production will be at the maximum, and profitability also will be more. So when we talk about profit and loss in poultry, there's a very narrow margin between profit and loss. In a farm where biosecurity is there, the birds are healthy and the farm will be on profit side. But if you fail to concentrate on disease prevention program like biosecurity, then definitely there'll be financial loss and farmer goes through the financial loss. Why do we talk so much about biosecurity in poultry is the question. It's not that biosecurity is important only in poultry, it is important in cattle farm, dairy farm, piggery, and everywhere. But in poultry, it is very important for the simple reason the number of specific disease in poultry is more. You start from E. coli, you can count the number of specific diseases that are there in poultry recorded in a country like India, maybe 20, 25 diseases we can see. And apart from it, these poultry, they grow very fast. A bird which is 35 grams day old chick will grow to 2.5 kg very simple in about 36 days. And we go for mass production. Even today, a broiler farm less than 5,000 is not considered as profitable. So mass production is there and the birds will be in close contact. And in a farm, there can be three, four batches of birds of different age group. Further that one, these organisms, they survive for a long period. Some of these ND virus, IBD virus, they stay in the poultry farm after an outbreak for about 28 weeks, 30 weeks in the farm. In the same way, the disinfectant what we use is, there's no common disinfectant for all organism. And organism multiply. A organism, one organism, let us say Salmonella, it multiplies to millions in matter of about 4 to 5 hours. Okay, and the virus mutate, and we have the emergence of new diseases and re-emergence of old diseases in a new pattern. So biosecurity should be applied at all level unless we maintain the biosecurity right from pure line to grandparent, commercials, hatchery units, feed units, transportation, and even the marketing of finished product. Biosecurity should be there. When we talk about biosecurity, one of the common question a poultry farmer will ask is how much biosecurity is enough? how much I need to spend. It is something like how much defense spending is adequate for a country like India. It depends on our enemies. Here, our enemy is bacteria, virus, or whatever it is. What is its strength and weakness? As I told you, we have so many diseases. They are very clever, they mutate, they multiply very fast. In any case, a balance should be strike between the expenditure and the biosecurity by the poultry farmer. So if you know from where the disease enters the farm, we can plug those areas. So very commonly disease will be brought into a farm by human beings like I and you, or maybe your neighboring poultry farmer. Or if you take people for contract basis for transportation of birds, debeaking, vaccination, visitors, both national as international visitors, when they come to the farm, they can bring the infection. Apart from it, there are so many other ways by which the disease can get an entry. One other one here is the mixing species of poultry. If we keep turkey and poultry together, CRD is very common. If we have poultry, piggery together, probably avian influenza is very common. Okay, so there are many ways by which the organism enters into the farm. There are vertically transmitted disease. Even the equipment, if you happen to share the equipment with the neighboring farms, maybe the egg trays, maybe inseminating equipment, maybe the vehicle, then the disease enters into the farm. If we take birds for the postmortem examination or examination to one of the laboratory, and if you bring back those birds, you don't know what are the diseases you are bringing back. Rodents can bring the disease like salmonella into the farm. Household pets, even the wild birds and insects. That's the reason we say in a poultry farm there should not be any fruit-bearing trees. So an ideal situation for my farm is this farm should be separately located, isolated. It should have a gate and a fence, and you should have a board to say that there is it's a restricted area, and it should be followed. Not that you put a board and forget about it. And there shouldn't be no other livestock or pet birds in the farm. Discourage non-essential visitors. There are some essential visitors, there are non-essential visitors. Non-essential visitors, please discourage. Poultry housing and biosecurity also. You can see here two photos. One of the photo on the right side is the environmentally controlled house. The other one is the farm in the rural side. In the photo on the left side, biosecurity will be difficult. Farm should be located in such a place, at least there should be 2 kilometers distance between two farms. That is the ideal situation. If you can do that one, nothing like that. And farm also should not be very near to the public road. So the signboard should be readable, and signboard should be put at the entrance, no admission without permission, and follow it. That's the best thing that you can do. So ideal farm should have a perimeter fence or a compound, and there should be a gate which is locked and it is monitored. Many times we see just the gate and it's open, anybody can enter. It should not be like that. There should be disinfectant dip at the entrance of the farm and at the entrance of each of the shed. And separate entrance and exit for the workers and visitors is always a good thing. Change room for the workers. Workers should come to the farm. They should change their dress with the uniform or whatever it is, and separate storage room for the feed. When we talk of biosecurity, in this particular photo, you can see the cobwebs are not removed. This is one of the source of infection to the farm. Okay, where the biosecurity starts? It starts at the main entrance of the farm itself. There should be a security. He is supposed to stop all unauthorized people. There should be a disinfectant dip. Okay, and the area around the poultry shed should be cleaned. Grass should be cut because otherwise it will be a good breeding place for the rats, and rats spread diseases like salmonella. How do you handle visitors? As I told you, discourage visitors and the customers. There are in Western countries there are observation booth platform from where you can see the birds. If we don't have in all the places the observation booth, if it is there, it is good. Separate entry and access road for the visitors. Wear protective clothing and rubber shoes and other footwears. Plastic footwears are not very good. You can see in this particular photo, as you enter into a farm, you are given a different coat and your shoes is also covered. That should be the thing. Okay, so whenever a visitor has to enter, ensure that he changes the dress and then he enters into your farm. And vehicles are the one which actually bring the diseases. It goes to different farm. Imagine a person collecting eggs or the birds. So disinfection should be done properly. Many places a very light spray on the vehicle tires is done. It is not good. Actually, there should be a dip in which the vehicle should move. This particular photo, if you see, as the vehicle enters into the farm, first thing is it will be washed, then there will be spray of disinfectant, and again it will be washed. Then only the gate will be open. That's the type of biosecurity we need to have. Then the dead birds. How do you take care of the dead birds? Very, very important, because that's where again the disease can spread. So dead birds should be collected properly and it should be disposed of properly. So do not neglect the dead birds and the waste. Okay, properly destroy it, separate and remove the sick bird at least twice daily, and the improper disposal can be a source of infection. There are different methods by which you can dispose of the birds. One is the pit or the tank disposal. Where do you have this pit is very, very important. And when you have that one, it should be airtight. Septic tanks can be used. Burning is best. Incinerators are there. People use diesel. It's going to be a costly affair when you use burning also. Okay, burying, failure is more unless you go for a deep trench. Otherwise, the birds will be dead birds will be removed from the trench, from the dogs and other thing. Cooking and rendering at high temperature is probably the best way if you can do it. You can see two photos here: a dog which has access to a dead bird. Definitely, disease will spread from one farm to another one. So you should have a proper disposal of the carcass. Feed also. Buy the feed from a reputed mill and store it properly. Take feed only for 7 days and store the feed properly. You can see again two photos here. One at least where the feed bags are stored to a certain extent, it is proper. On the other side, you can see it is not even properly stored. Birds are there, they eat, they pass the shit there, and the droppings can infect. Water. Check when the last time the water sample was analyzed, both for chemical analysis as well as biological one. And when the tanks were clean, probably we need to have a system where you need to write when the water tanks were clean, when the channels were flushed. So it should be monitored. Egg collector, he should keep his vehicle outside and collect the eggs. See, he should stop the vehicle at the entrance. He should not enter. And then he should be ready to get his vehicle disinfected properly. Otherwise, there will be a problem. And he should accept to change the egg to his trace. Don't give your trace. Otherwise, it will go to different farm. And finally, what trace you get will be a big thing. Take care of the vet. Make sure that the veterinarian is clean before entering the farm. In case he has visited about 3 or 4 farms and then comes to your farm, probably he will bring infection. Call vet only if it is necessary. And whenever the postmortem has to be done, a separate place has to be given, and that particular area should be disinfected. Okay, see that the carcass is disposed of. Even the workforce provide them the uniform, different color uniform, to identify who is working in the chick room, grower shed, layer shed. Okay, so this is one worker, one shed is one principle we can use. Do not move person from breeding farm to hatchery and vice versa if you want to control the disease. Control the rodents. Rodents actually transmit the disease like salmonella. Selection of disinfectant, please remember, one single molecule based disinfectant is not effective. So go for a synergetic combination disinfectant that is available. Remember, handling an outbreak is very costly affair. Daily have a check in your farm whether the feathers are collected, whether the footpaths are filled with disinfectant, separate the sick bird, how you are going to collect the egg. If you don't collect the egg, that itself can be a source of infection. Cleaning outside and inside the shed, and avoid spilling of water, etc. Biosecurity is failed because of mainly the ignorance and the indifference. And the managers, supervisors, veterinarians, owner, worker, everybody is important here. They should not offend this biosecurity. So please remember, the expenditure on biosecurity measure must not be considered as a burden on inputs. When you have to do all these things, it's something like you have to spend some money. Treat it as a term deposit, because when you do little things now, it may prevent doing some major things later. The bottom line is very simple. If there is no biosecurity, you are going to have a poultry, sick poultry farm, and the profitability will be affected. But if it's a good biosecurity in a farm, healthy birds will be there and there'll be prosperity. This is just I wanted to share with you. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Dr. Manjunath, again.
Sir, I just wanted to ask you a small question.
Yes,
The
sir.
disease prevailing today everywhere, what is the take-home message for our farming fraternity in the current scenario? What the measures they can take it? Just a small take-home message at the
Okay,
end.
number one, in my experience of about 40 years and present situation, what I'm seeing, we are getting new diseases almost every 7 years, 8 years, we are getting new diseases. So biosecurity remains to be an important thing. Yeah, you cannot substitute biosecurity with antibiotic treatment or with vaccination. Basic biosecurity. In the biosecurity, I feel still a lot of focus has to be given for proper disposal of the carcass. Even today, whenever I go, as I do the postmortem, I see that the poultry farmer takes it and throws it to the dogs, and definitely there will be problems. So, proper disposal of the dead birds, proper vaccination. Please consult the veterinarian for the proper vaccination. Follow the vaccination schedule properly, and then, of course, the farm will be better and prosperity will be there, profitability will be there. This is what I feel is important.
One more quick small question. Suppose I have a farm and I had some disease and serious mortality was there and farm was empty. And now I cannot go out of the business, so I have to get the chicks again, whether it's layer, mostly layer I'm talking about it. So before the chick comes, what are the things we can consider so that next flock will not be affected like the earlier one?
Okay, very simple. When you know that there is a disease in a particular farm, first and the foremost thing is understand what is the problem you have. Is it ND? Is it IBD? Whether whatever it is, because each of these virus this remain in the farm alive for a particular period of time. For example, 28 weeks is a big thing. So understand what is the disease you have. Consult the doctor. Give minimum of 3 weeks gap before you get the birds. That's the minimum 3 weeks. Then proper disinfectant. You have to go for the fumigation and disinfectant and see that all the equipment, your feeders, waters, whatever it is there, everything is properly cleaned, whitewashed. Keep it locked for 3 weeks and then get the birds. That is the best thing that you can do.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And my sincere thanks to you for your time and efforts. And Dr. Upendra is my guru and pretty knowledgeable. You have made a very good deliberation today. Thank you. My sincere
Thank you so
thanks
much.
to you, sir.
Take care.
And hope our small effort can add value in farmers' business, those who are attending. Once again, thank you all. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.